Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to an exclusive Sharp Iron Riders Spin Diesel production. I am your lead cyclist, T.S. Mitchell, aka Spin Diesel, and we want to thank our sponsors for help making the Sharp Iron Riders program a success. They are University of Personal Fitness in Columbia, South Carolina, TNAC Championship Coaching, and by Saddle, the adjustable shape saddle. And of course, our title sponsor for the club is T.S. Mitchell Financial, LLC, the independent and trusted wealth manager. Well, on this particular day, June 11th, 2020, I am riding with the Tri City B Group for a couple of reasons. Number one, the gentleman right there in the white shirt, white helmet on the green bike is one of our sharp iron riders by the name of Rufus. Rufus has been training with us since late no Memorial Day. Since Memorial Day, so it's been about 3 weeks. And Rufus was previously riding with the C group at the Tri City route. And when he started training with us, I saw that he had an ability to move up to the next group, the B group. So he went out, tried with the B group, and he came back and said he got lost and he got dropped. All right. And then I said, go back again. He went back a second time, came back and said he didn't get lost, but he did get dropped. And he said, man, what does it take to move from a C group to a B group? And I said, well, remember now, the model of the scriptural model for our club, Sharp Iron Riders, is Proverbs 27:17. As iron sharpens iron, so does one man sharpen the countenance of his friend. So I said to him, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to ride with you on the B group, but I need you to do two things and two things only. No matter what goes on around you, I want you to do two things. No matter who jumps in front of you, I want you to do two things. No matter who passes you, I want you to do two things. And that is stay on my wheel and stay out of the wind. That's it. Stay on my wheel and stay out of the wind. And that's why this segment is called Follow the Leader. Well, you may remember this gentleman right here in the multicolored shirt and red helmet. That is the man we call the General. That's Mr. Tap. Yes, Tap has been riding with me. My goodness, we've been rolling together for about 3-4 years now. And this gentleman is getting back into form. He took some time off, but now he's getting it back. He's, as we say, getting that mojo back. All right. And but Rufus here. Rufus is on Tap's wheel because Tap is a sharp iron rider and Tap is on my wheel. So the three of us are working together as we are making it down 12th Street Extension. Now, here's what I tell the sharp iron riders about 12th Street Extension. When you're on this road, don't get happy. Don't get happy. It's relatively flat. Yes, you do have wind, okay? But what you also have, especially look at the group right now, you have about 30, 40 people all rolling down 12th Street Extension at the same time. And typically what happens, folks look down at their computer and they says, wow, I'm going faster than I've ever gone before. And they get happy. You know, this is not where you want to, think you're going to conquer the world. See, 12th Street Extension, your performance on 12th Street Extension is deceptive. It's very deceiving because when the road changes and begins to go up on the next section of the course, you're going to find yourself wondering what happened. So what we do here is that we just follow the wheel and stay out of the wind. We stay on the wheel, stay out of the wind. We follow the leader. So Tap is following my wheel, and the statistics you see in the purple bars all are my statistics. That's my speed, my heart rate, my power output is, my cadence. All right, so those are the things that I'm doing, but you can relatively believe they're doing close to that just to stay on the wheel. Now, here's a key point. Because of the fact that I am the diesel, which means I'm rolling right now about a deuce and a quarter, you have Tap and you have Rufus. Both of the gentlemen are more have more of a climber build where they can tuck in behind my wheel and benefit from the draft that I produce. So when that draft comes, it comes in a V shape. So there's a vacuum that they can stay on, and you'll see as the video goes how all of a sudden they just roll up right up on the wheel. It's because they're in that vacuum. So now here we're coming down 12th Street. People are bunching up, and as you see, one, two, three, four, five different rows. People are all over the place like buckshot. That's not how you want to ride 12th Street. Because when we're in the A group, or when I'm in the A group, and Sean is with me, and with the Sharp Iron Riders are with the fast group of the A's, we ride in a full pace line or sometimes a double pace line, so that we can avoid all this buckshot approach when we're going down 12th Street. This is a waste of energy. Now look at this gap that's on the right side, okay, of the picture. Okay, you see that big gap there? That's a lot of wind that's being caught, and it's holding you back. So what you have to do is you have to make sure you stay on that wheel. Now what happened here is that as that uh, gap was forming, the light was changing from red to green. So I rolled around and kept going, and then all those who had stopped and clicked out of their pedals had to click back in. I was pedaling at a nice, comfortable pace, and now the group comes up. Now, what I was telling my riders is that we're not going to pull 40 people down 12th Street. No, we're not doing that because there's so much of road to cover. Why waste all your energy there? So what we did was we just let them go by, which was about maybe 12 or 13 of them, because now it's time to have some fun. Here we are. We're finishing 12th Street Extension. We're making a right-hand turn onto Old Wire, and we are pedaling through the turn. Now remember, I said don't get happy on 12th Street, because if you got happy on 12th Street Extension and used up all your energy there trying to get a PR and all that other stuff, well then now the fun begins, because from Old Wire all the way to the end of the map where the blue dot is in the top right hand corner, where you're going to follow that course all the way to the left side before it turns right. And that's where we're doing all our hills. That's where we're doing all the climbing. So if you used up your energy on 12th Street, you may want to call yourself an Uber. All right, now tap is on my right side, which is the left hand side of the picture. Look at our shadows in the bottom right hand corner. You see that? Our cadence is almost mirroring each other. Because we ride so often together, we know how each other rolls. Whoa, look at that move. Did you see that move by Rufus? Now, that's a good move there. What he saw was, as we began this 4% grade, Tap got caught on the inside. And I swung out, and Rufus swung out. He did exactly what we had planned for him to do. Stay on my wheel, stay out of the wind. So as we are coming across this overpass, all right, we're just doing a comfortable 21 miles an hour. Not much resistance, so there's not much power outputs that I'm putting, because now we're on the downside of the overpass. The only one that was able to jump with us was Doug. Doug is behind Rufus right now. Doug is one of the riders that I ride with from time to time in the northeast section of Columbia. He typically rides with the Summit Cycle group. All right, but here we are. Here we are. It's me, Rufus, and Doug. Now, I want you to watch something. Okay? I want you to watch something. Every now and then, watch what Doug does. Just watch. Just watch. You'll see. So Rufus right now, he's pointing out things. We're pointing out the obstacles. And that's what you want to do. As a good wheel, you want to point out the obstacle for those who are behind you, because we're all out here working together. Oh, did you see? Look, see that? Doug just did it. He just did it. I saw it. I think that was the third time he did it. We'll see. He's going to do it again. Just watch. All right. Now, You want to point out the obstacles. There you go. See, there it is. Did you see it? Did you see it? He does that. You know, you know what he's doing? Rufus and I have set a pace. And, we're just rolling. Doug is looking back. At least this is my interpretation of it, okay? He's looking back to see if anybody's going to come up to help. Because it was just a nice, comfortable pace. And the reason why I say it was comfortable is because this is how we train. As sharp iron riders, we train in hills and we train on headwinds. That's it. So now this section here, we finished with Old Wire. No, we're still on. Yeah, we finished with Old Wire. Now we're on Glen. This is the first section of where we started to have some long hill climbs. And we came through a series of stop signs and everything. So since I was in the front, what I did was I just soft pedaled until Rufus and the group caught up. And then once they caught up, we just kept pedaling. We just kept rolling with it. But I did look back and tell Rufus, remember, we're not pulling 40 to 50 people throughout this whole course. There's enough people in this peloton to share the workload. Now, what you will see from time to time, especially in B groups, at least in this Tri-City B group, and I'll call it like it is, you will have 40 to 50 people riding, but maybe only a handful, maybe 5 people will work to be up front to pull the group. So if the crowd says they want to stay in the back, guess what happens with the peloton? You basically stay in the back. But that's not how we roll as Sharp Iron Riders. We share the workload, all right, and we're going to do what we can to keep the pace moving at a steady rate. So what Rufus is doing right now are the 2 things that I asked him to do. Stay on my wheel, stay out of the wind. Now, as we're rolling, this is the section that now watch. You see the wattage is going up, but look at the speed. The speed is staying the same. 2 things are changing right now. The grade or the elevation is up to 2%, and the wattage is going up. But the speed is relatively the same. See, when you train right, you get good results. And that's what I'm sharing with Rufus. I said, don't worry about everybody else and what they're doing and what's going on around you. Stay on my wheel, stay out of the wind. So as we're climbing this 2% grade at the same speed we were when the road was 1% or flat, we're pushing out more wattage. Now the benefit that Rufus has is that he's using less wattage because he's in what? He's in the draft. He's on my wheel and he's out of the wind. Now here comes Doug. Now Doug is pulling a few people up, and now I still want you to watch my wattage once things settle in. So we got 1, 2, 3. You got this guy in the blue jersey with the green armbands. I want to mention something about what happened right here. When he got right here, I saw he was losing the wheel that was in front of him. And I said to him loud and clearly, get on that wheel. He looked at me. I said, get on the wheel. And the reason why I told him, and he did, and the reason why I said for him to get on that wheel, because if he had let a gap form, just like the one you just see right here, all right, you just saw, see that guy in the black and white jersey behind Rufus, he was on the wheel of the guy in the blue jersey, but he let a gap form. Now, if the guy in the blue jersey that's in front of me now let the gap form, that means I would have had to work harder to bridge the bridge until the wheel that was in front of him. And of course, that may have ended up causing Rufus to work harder too, and cause maybe more of a gap between me and him. So if my goal was to make sure that he had a good wheel to follow throughout this course, you got to look out for each other. So by me telling that guy to get on that wheel, look what's happening. Okay? Now the speed is going up to about 18 miles an hour. Now watch what happens with my wattage. my watch starts to go down. Why is it going down and my speed is going up? It's because I'm in the draft. You cannot underestimate the benefit of a good draft. Now, the guy that's in front of me, he's a pretty good wheel. He's holding a steady wheel and he's holding a steady pace. So that enables me to hold a steady pace for the rider that's on my wheel. Now, you see that guy right there on the right hand side with the red and white helmet? He just took a sip of water. When you see somebody come out of the pace line like that, that tells you something. What it tells you is that the pace was too high for them to maintain, and they had to let it go. So he jumps out, and then the person that was behind him, now that person has to put up an effort to catch up to the wheel that was in front. Or in other words, he had to catch up to Rufus's wheel. So we're just rolling right now. All right, just enjoying the ride, and we're starting to go downhill a little bit. All right, so the speed is picking up. We're at 23 miles an hour, 24. The watts are low because I'm not pedaling. But what I'm doing right now, I'm letting the wheel in front of me get ahead of me about maybe 10, maybe 15 feet. Because watch my shadow. Watch my shadow. What I'm doing right now, I'm hydrating. I'm taking in some water. I put the bottle back, and then I pick up my cadence. The reason why I did that, the reason why I let that guy get ahead is because when you are in a pace line, you don't want to do anything sporadic. Oh, here comes Fast Freddy. Hey, Freddy. All right. You don't want to do anything sporadic where you take your hands off the handlebars because if there's someone stops short, you can cause a fall. You can cause a crash. So you let somebody get some space in front of you. You reach down, you get your water, you put it back, and then you close that gap. Now, I will tell you, ladies and gentlemen, we are having a lot of fun out there. I'm serious. We are just having a lot of fun. We're riding at our pace. We're putting forth the effort that we need to stay together. And now, what I'm doing right now, I just moved over, is because I caught up to the guy that was ahead of me. And Rufus swung out to stay in my draft. And we're just rolling. We're just rolling. And I'm fastly approaching the next rider. And Rufus just moved over because he saw me catching up to the guy, and he wants to make sure that I have room because he knows there's no need to hit brakes. Just roll. See, when you're cycling, especially when the pace picks up, hey, there's Fast Freddy. So we caught Freddy again. Now, and there's Doug. We caught Doug again. So we just roll around him. See, look, when you are moving like this, you let the momentum carry you as far as it can. I can't begin to tell you how many people are riding their brakes. You know, you have to learn how to let the momentum carry you. Because you ride your brakes and you're stopping and going, and then when the climb comes, you dread the climb because now you got to put forth more of an effort to make the climb. Let momentum carry you. And that's why right now we are turning onto Gator. And Rufus and I end up putting a 10-second gap on the Peloton. Now, when we came down Glen, we got to Fish Hatchery, all right? And we just rolled through because the road was clear for us, but they got caught by traffic. So now, because they were slowing down and didn't use their momentum, they got to work harder to catch us. And oftentimes, it's not necessarily how fast you got to ride. Many times it's just technique. That's all, just technique. Many times it's just understanding the road, the elevation, and you allow momentum to carry you as opposed to you trying to, to hammer it all out. Does it look like we're hammering? Nah, look like we're just out for a regular fun day on the bicycle. That's all. And that's all we're doing. But all the guys in the back, they are working. And you will see how hard they have been working. All right, now follow. Once again, follow the map in the top right-hand corner. You see the blue dot? All right, so the blue dot tells you that we are getting close to the end of this segment. All right, and this part here, once again, this is Gator. And we're on this last segment of Gator. We're on a 2% climb. We're still rolling, at a nice, comfortable pace, 19 miles an hour. My wattage is going down, okay, because now we're on a flat part. We're going on a little descent here, and it's just a matter of just keeping a nice, steady pace. We're not overexerting ourselves, and for those of you who ride in hot climates, you notice that Rufus has what is called a camelback, and that is very good when you're riding because of the fact that you have to stay hydrated. I can't begin to tell you how important it is to be hydrated on a ride where you have to put forth an effort to really stay as part of a breakaway or to bridge a gap, or even if you're just out there just on a Sunday bike ride. Make sure you stay well hydrated. There's another part of this ride that we may use in another video when there was a gentleman that was riding on this route. He wasn't hydrating and he did fall. Nobody hit him. He didn't cut wheels or anything. It was just the fact that he didn't hydrate, and it was a very hot, humid day, and his body just got drained. But fortunately, there were no injuries. We did come back and pick him up. Someone did pick him up and got him back safely. So it was just a lot of ego bruising. But overall, he's still riding today. But hydration is very important. So right now, Rufus and I, we're just slowly pedaling. I'm gonna say slowly pedaling, but comfortably pedaling. And when you look at it, it doesn't seem as if we're under a lot of stress with keeping this pace. Why? Because once again, he's doing two things. Y'all remember what the two things are? He's what? He's staying on my wheel, and what? He's staying out of the wind. And that's how this person, who just a few weeks ago was a C club rider, now he's dropping the B club riders. And it's not always that he is doing more than what someone else is doing, but what he's doing, he's using the team approach. We're working together. So that's how he's able to continue. And that's one good thing about being a part of Sharp Iron Riders. Our goal is to what? Sharpen each other's ability so we all benefit and enjoy this thing we call cycling. Now, you may look in the corner now. From time to time, you see the peloton coming up. And that's a good thing because you got 50 riders. And if somewhere in the midst of them 50 riders, there should be 5, maybe 10 folks to say, hey, let's work together. All right. But Rufus just looked back and, he didn't say anything to me. So we just climbing. That's all. We're on a 4% grade, 5% grade. We're still maintaining our speed. Now, watch this group. I think that's Freddie leading the group. The only two people that were really leading the group to bridge the gap during this day was Freddie and Doug. All right, so Freddie is trying to bridge the gap, but now, didn't you just see how they were coming close and then all of a sudden they're falling back? The reason is because the grade has increased. It went from a 2%. See, they were gaining on us on 2% grade. It went to 4%, then they dropped. But wait a minute. There's another rider coming up. He's broken away from the gap. From the group. You know who that is, ladies and gentlemen? That's another Sharp Iron rider. That's the general. That's right. That's Mr. Tap. Okay, so this is what Sharp Iron riders. This is what we do. We train how? We train in the wind. We train with headwinds, and we train on hills. So now, Tap, who was with the group, is in a point where he's trying to bridge the gap between the group and us. This section that he's in, we typically call this no man's land. All right, so he's strong enough to pull away from the peloton, but he just doesn't have enough, or does he? Or does he have enough to catch us? So we are on this ascent here. We're still climbing. We're still rolling. And Tap is trying to reel us in. And so he's putting it down. So I'm going to tell you now, we're going to see if he catches us. But we didn't know he was behind us. We were just pedaling. Okay. Tap said to me later, he says, "Man, I was just 2 seconds behind you." I said, "Well, if we had known that, it would have been cool just to slow down a little bit, let you hook on to the train, and let us take you on into the station." All right. But Rufus and I, we were just rolling. And Tap was putting forth that effort. But I'm going to tell you now, the more we train, the more we work together, the stronger we will become. And there will be a point where bridging this gap, no problem. Won't be any problem. Because as you see, he's still trying to get back into form. And he brings the gap, he closes the gap down to 2 seconds. Down to 2 seconds. It's 2 seconds between when we crossed the railroad track to where he hit it. You see how close he's getting? And the Peloton is about 2 seconds behind him. So we're still just rolling, and just every now and then I look back and I say, "Hey, Rufus, you there?" He says, "Yep." And we just keep pedaling, not knowing that the Peloton is coming up on us. But that's what it is. When you got that many people rolling, they should be sharing the effort to get to where we are. Now, watch what happens here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to tell you, they've been working hard to catch us. Watch this. Listen. Nobody smiling. Doug, one. Nobody smiling. Blue shirt. Nobody smiling. Yellow shirt. Nobody smiling. Brown shirt. Nobody smiling. Black shirt. Nobody smiling. Green and black shirt. Nobody smiling. Black and white shirt. What about this guy? Nobody smiling. White shirt. What about the guy in the yellow jersey? Nobody smiling. Hey, but what about Fast Freddy? Nobody smiling. Ladies and gentlemen, this group here, they really had to work to bring us back. And nobody smiling. Even Freddie looked over at Rufus like, "Man, what are you guys doing?" All right. But listen, that's how we train. We're sharp iron riders. We believe in cycling synergy, meaning this: two things can produce a certain amount individually, but when they come together, they produce a cumulative greater amount than they could have individually. Case in point, 3 plus 3 is 6, but 3 times 3, that synergy, equals 9. And that's what we do at Sharp Iron Riders. We build that type of work attitude and commitment in our cycling and in our club. So hit us up. Hit us up on Strava. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube page. Become a patron. Send us your questions, your comments, and your concerns on this video and all the videos that we have in our Sharp Iron Riders YouTube section. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for watching. We thank you for being a part of this opportunity to share in our joy for cycling, and we hope you enjoy it too. So, by all means, hit us up, get back in touch with us, and have fun.